Hey YouTube. So, I made another video of this, but it was pretty choppy and I spoke a little fast. I don't really think I got the point across as clearly as I could have. So this is just another try, the huge overview. I'm going to try and make it as short as I can and see how it goes. So, if you watch my unboxing video, you'll see that I recently picked up a polarstar. And the first thing you want to do is you want to actually wire your FCU. This is really simple. All you gotta do is just match the colors, and the wires are smooth tipped, and you just put it in and push it in, and then it'll, if you did it correctly, it won't be able to come out, and if you didn't, it'll just slide right out. It really takes you all of 5 minutes. And now here's another thing I didn't get is, if you notice, mine has more than one red and more than one blue. And when I looked at other pictures of FCUs, not everyone has that actual color pattern. Some people have more blues and more yellows, so I'm not really sure, but all the wires are generally the same color. But what I did see is that there were 2 on the bottom and then 2 on the top. There's always one in the middle. So I just spaced them out like that, and it works fine. I'm sure if I did it the other way, it would work fine as well. But I guess that's just your personal preference. This actually controls your whole engine, because all this does, it tells the trigger to move, open or close the solenoid, which lets gas through once you actually have gas going through it. So if you do it without anything plugged in, there's no reaction, there's no noise, there's no nothing. But if you plug in your battery and your FCU and it's on shot, you can actually hear the solenoid moving. So, and then once you plug in gas, your valve will actually move back and forth. So, a few settings on the FCU. If you put it on safe, here's on shot, safe, and you scroll over towards the wires, you hit RE as 21, and you can move this up or down, and it doesn't do anything. I have no idea what that is. That's also not in the manual. Then you have your full auto, and as you see, it's at full FU. That means that it's not on burst mode, it's just I pull the trigger and whatever my full auto set to does that. If you scroll down, it's going to say full auto's at 09, and that's 9 round burst, 8, 7, etc. all the way down to 1, which is kind of pointless because that's just a backup semi. Then you have your DN. Now there's 2 things need to affect your rate of fire. This is one of them. This comes stock at 12. I have mine down at 9. The lower number, the faster your rate of fire. You have your DP. This basically affects how far back this actually goes. And I think it comes stock at 20, and I looked up the feeding, what feeds best for mag mid caps, and it said 25 a lot, so I put mine at 25 because that really is all I use. Then you have your RF, which is your rate of fire delay, and I think it's in milliseconds. And that basically means the higher this number, the longer the trigger has to be held down before it actually shoots in full auto. And I don't know why you'd want a delay from when you pull the trigger and when you actually shoot. So I have that down to 1, and it doesn't go any lower than that. Then we have DR. Now DR is your other thing you need to address your rate of fire. This comes stock at 22 or 20-ish, and I have mine set down to 18. Now if you leave the FCU units completely stock, aside from that, well, even the delay, you're gonna get about a mid-20s, low-20s rate of fire, 20 rounds a second, and that's pretty good. Maybe some people want that, but right now mine should be around 24, 25, and I also have closed bolt mode on, which I'll get to now. Then we have something called CB. This is closed bolt. If you go up, it's on. If you go down, it's off. If off is regular AEG mode, where it just cycles every time, on would be your first round of your mag is going to be dry fired, but every round after that, you can pull the trigger faster, and it doesn't really save you gas. Although, in reality, that a closed bolt would do that. But you can get a more instantaneous trigger response, and it's better for semi-auto if you play CQB, and all CQB fields I buy me are semi-auto, or most of them. And so I just put it on, and I mean, it's such minimal difference between, if you're just dry firing the engine, there's really minimal difference between on and off. Then we have our bounce threshold. This is your trigger response on, this is your trigger delay on semi. Just, it comes to 0, leave it at 0. The higher number, the longer you have to play on trigger, and that's weird. Now we're back to where we started. So you push for save to adjust settings, and push for shot. Now, a few things. When you first get your engine, it's going to come with this on the end, and when you get your air rig actually comes with the quick detach system in it. And what that is, you have to, you push these in, you pull this thing down, and if you want quick detach, you just literally pull it down and it pops it out. So that's better than unscrewing. So to get this one on and this one off, they both have these weird clamps right here. This one you can't see as much, but see how these go together? Now, to get it off, all you gotta do is squeeze these together, and mine's all actually on there pretty tight because I pushed it down, and just pull off like that. And then it comes off. You can put this one on, and then just to put it back on, just push it in, and you don't have to pull the tab, just push it in, and then you're ready to go for your air rig. Now set your air rig up to your tank. This is important. Okay, this tells you how full your tank is. Mine is just a little over halfway, and this tells you your current PSI. You want to pay attention to this, not so much this. This just tells you really how many shots you're going to have left. So now, this top part will say open and close. And basically when it's closed, it's all the way up because there's this little needle that comes in and actually feeds you air through this and then through the extra rest of the hose. Now I'm going to open it. You're going to see the PSI notch is going to go up, and you're going to hear a little hiss when I initially open it. Like that. And that is the needle going into the tank, and now there's air going through. And now my PSI is just about 80. So I like to just open it all the way. My PSI really doesn't move because here's your PSI regulator. So my PSI is at about 80. And I found that to usually test what your PSI really is, you usually have to fire off a few shots. Like that. So I'm going to fire off a few shots, and I'm going to see if it really is at 80. See, now it just jumped to like 85. So fire off a few shots. Now mine's at about 85, and it's not moving from there. And for you to see what I mean, here it is. And you see it's not going to jump around too much. Just like that. So now to 85. I have no chronograph, and actually haven't put this through any type wars or any hop ups, so I'm not sure what the FPS is, but I do run a small little barrel, so that might be just around 320, 300-ish. And that's fine for me for CQB. And then I think every 10 PSI you increase should give you 10 FPS. So the engine's on. You see the notch is moving now. And it's actually really cool because here's what it sounds like but when you suppress it, and then you can also use loudners on it, but it gets really, really loud. That's just something to keep in mind. Now a few things I want to go over. You saw my settings of full auto, and you saw how they're lower than what they should be. So I'm going to have a faster than normal stock rate of fire. And I like that. That's a good rate of fire for me. Now if I want to get it higher, I'm going to lower those numbers. So I'm going to put on safe. I'm going to go down to DN. I'm going to lower DN to 5. I'm going to go DR. I'm going to lower DR to 10. And I'm going to try it again. And the rate of fire is crazy fast now. So I don't really like that because I like a human rate of fire. So I'm going to go put it back up to my settings. And I'm just going to leave it like that. Now, that's kind of your base. That's everything you actually need to run your polarstar. That's your gas rig, your engine, your blah, blah, blah. That's everything you need. I'm going to cover this important thing because I have a feeling someone's going to mess it up and you're looking at bad stuff. To turn off your air rig, take this pin out. Like, put it all the way up. Now it's all the way up. But you'll see you still have PSI. You still have about 80. Now, what you're going to do, this is really simple, because there's still air running through this hose and through here. Just shoot. And watch. Now my PSI is 80. Now I just dropped to 40. And don't stop shooting until you hear the regular just solenoid noise. And then what you do is you're going to disconnect. You'll hear like some little minimal air. And then your fusion engine is actually completely off. Now let's talk about actually storing this thing. This is a 90 cubic inch, the Ninja, the SLP tank. This cost me like 180 bucks, and it is gigantic. It's actually completely huge, and it's kind of insane. So the best way to store this, I'd have to say, would be to get a hydro carrier, or if you have a backpack, like a map pack or something, put it in there. Now the other thing you want to do is you really want to streamline your rig, because this hose, what I do is I wear it in my backpack, and mine has a cummerbund, and I actually slip it under the cummerbund so that it's not sticking out anywhere around here. And then it actually runs from the bottom into my gun, which I will get back shortly. So that way I don't have to be running and worry about anything above my shoulder on this area catching. If anything, it'll be anything down here, and even then not really. And I'd rather have something here catch than something here catch, and possibly pull out more stuff, or pull out the tank. Because I can get here and I can't, I mean, if I'm here, I can always reach here. I can't really reach back here. I can't, go under like this. It's something to consider. So as of right now, my rig actually has nothing on this right side at all, because all my mag pouches are here, and utility pouch, and then emergency, IFAC is on the back. So I really don't have anything to get in the way. And again, it's personal preference, but that is what I'd recommend. And when I do get the gun in, I'll do a huge gear video, show you how I run it after, I test it, the big game coming up. So I'll get back to you a full thing, and I'll tell you, how it performed and everything like that. But this is about half filled. Probably by now it's about half filled, yeah. And this weighs 5 pounds. And it's half filled with, and this is the carbon fiber system too, keep in mind, which is supposed to be lighter. And right now this is half filled. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now, you don't have to get the big one. You can get 2 small tanks, and just fill them both up. Again, tanks, it's $1 per 1,000 PSI, and mine's 4,500 PSI, so it cost me $4 at my local paintball shop. But that's just something to keep in mind is, I'd probably say it's about maybe 7 pounds when it's full. And that's another 7 pounds you're going to have on your back, as well as, hydration or other stuff in radios. That's just something to keep in mind if you're not too big into running around with 40-something pounds on you. That's just something to keep in mind. If you're a small guy, get 2 tanks. Just get 2 tanks of 3,000 PSI. That are smaller, and then leave one at your gear stuff, and then when it runs out, head back to respawn or your forward operating base and just switch them out. And it might be maybe a little bit more expensive, but keep in mind you won't you won't throw your back. And to me, this is fine because I already have a lot of stuff in the backpack anyway, and this is 5 pounds. I really probably won't even notice because of all the running around, the adrenaline, all that stuff. That's just something to keep in mind, though. So this has been the huge overview. If there's any questions, anything I missed, leave in the comments and shoot me a message. I will address it. I'll probably make another video if I miss something. And I hope this helped. I do think I covered everything you need once you actually get it out of the box. So yeah, look forward to a lot more videos involving this, as well as a lot of shooting tests and barrel tests, hop-up tests, all that stuff. And that is actually just about it. So later, guys.